teacher in school writes up in the classroom board a question. Who is the owner of the car? And puts a question mark at the end. She says, class, today we're going to look at questions and what their purpose are. She says, before we go any further, does everyone understand this question? Who is the owner of the car? And they all nod, all the children nod in approval, except this young one who says, I understand the question, miss, but I have a problem with... She says, what's your problem? He says, well, I have a friend in another school. He's from a different country. And when we play and create things and do things together, we have fun, you know. And over a period of time, we got to know each other really well, and we gave ourselves a nickname from our original name. My name, of course, Miss, is Tommy, but he calls me Two. And his name, I can't pronounce his original name. That's what I gave him. His nickname his nickname is Who. So he is Who, and I am Two. So when I look at the statement, miss, it appears as not a question all the time. It appears as a statement, because my friend Who is the owner of the car. Teacher says, that's very interesting, but you have to remember this. It is a nickname, it's not a real word. He says, well, he spells it that way. And it's the same word that's on the board. Okay, she says, yes, but the question mark determines whether it's a question or not, you see. If you take away the question mark, we can say that your friend Who is the owner of the car. Does everyone also understand that? And another pupil put her hands up and said, no, but I don't know who this Who is. I don't know of anyone called Who. So I always think it's going to be a question and put a question mark at the end. The young boy says, you see, miss, you say my friend's nickname is not a real word. It's a made-up word. But are the words on the board also not made up? Teacher says, yes, all words are made up from sounds. But they're all made up by professional people. And they're all based on a communication tool and our need to be clear on what we are talking about. They're also based on the values of God. The boy says, I get that, miss. I get that. I understand that we're all trying to be clear. But I'm a bit saddened that my friend's nickname is not based on the value of God, because he is a dear friend to me. And she says, no, son, your friend's body, where all bodies are all based on the value of God. And what we talk, what we smell, what we see, what we touch, what we hear are also all based on the values of God. And the boy says, I'm not seeing clearly, miss. Also, why do we have to ask the question, who is the owner of the car? Surely the owner of the car knows they are the owner of the car. Are questions not pointless? And the teacher, she rubs the question off the board and says, today, class, We're now studying poetry. And now you see, this little, what some would call, depending on the quality of their mind, a light-hearted story, a koan, a complete destruction of the way we communicate as human beings. It can be classed as a one-sided view from the narrator of the story. It can evoke certain responses, emotions, actions. But the fact is, it's just words. You see, the teacher is basing her idea of her subject on her passed down information, and not so much on the self-experience, their interpretation of what the words mean. There's a very concise and controlled language we have. And of course we can understand this in today's society of social media and, withholding comments and being controlled in what we say and what we cannot say. And this is, all words are based around fear. The word expert will say, no, words are based around positivity. But fear is not positive. And it's not negative. Fear is to not accept life as it is. The story is worthy in whatever way you look at it. Your point of view is worthy in whatever way you look at it. It is what it is. When it stirs the emotions, when it stirs an anger, whether it stirs a protection of your beliefs, your rights, your hopes, your culture, that's just a subsidiary of your true self, your true mind. Who is the owner of the car? A very simple and basic question in our human, language, understanding, life, communication. Who being the name of the owner of the car? Why not? Why not? That's what we do. We break the rules. We break the practices. We break the methods. We break the system. Because it's not there to be controlled, you see? Whether we are choosing to protect the system or to destroy the system of what you can call it word. The speaker calls it the system of I, the ego I. Whether you're there to look at it from the destructive point of view or the protective point of view, it's really irrelevant. Because then the question, who is the owner of the car? Like any other question, somewhere in the question is the answer. Not the answer to who is the owner of the car or who is the name of who, but the answer to the truth. And every question there's an answer, the same answer of truth. But it is in the destruction of the mind that has been born to understand meanings and questions and ways and methods and practices. Ramana Maharshi uses the neti process. I'm not accepting the question. I'm not accepting who is who. I'm not accepting what a car is. So where is the answer, you see, within the question? The answer is in the denial of the question, but it's also in the acceptance of, in this case, the word is. Who is? Appears to be a question. Can also be the statement, who is? This young guy's friend is. But the narrator, the ego, the elongator of time, the elongator of fear, the elongator of samsara, wants to add the owner of the car, wants to add on the temporary. That what is names. Owner? What can own? Yeah, what can own? When you're on an aeroplane at the other side of the world from your home, and your car is parked in your garage at home, and you're sitting on a beach, and someone says, "What do you own?" "I am the owner of my car." "Where is your car?" "It's at home." So how can you be owning it right now? The only thing we own is our body. The only thing that does not leave us until it's ready is our body and our mind. But we don't even own our mind. Who is? Who is? Statement or question? Irrelevant. Remove the who is. I. Let's spell it out. I. Stable, phallic, strong, rigid. S. Swirling, sensuous, moving. Together, life. The maple and the ribbons. Swirling. We're here to play with words. We're here to make fun of words. We're here to understand words. We're here to take words seriously. That's what the mind is. That's what we've developed ourselves to be. We can create more words, but we cannot allow certain people in this world of words to make up their own words. The system has to control the words in whatever country you are in and whatever words you can say. The young child in the school was an early, self-inquiring being. But he was also a problem to the system. He was also questioning what centuries of human, at least 4 centuries, that humans have built. And the fear of some little boy knocking down the system has to be eradicated. It's not the fear of the boy, it's the fear of the system being uncovered. Now, the speaker's not here to say the system is a conspiracy or a way to control human beings and people. It is a way that we, each one of us, have accepted and adapted and moved into. And it's okay. Why not? Everyone uses the system. Everyone uses a question. Very valid when you're lost in the city. Where can I find this street But the answer for the true seeker, for the young child, is even the child was questioning the teacher, questioning his mind. The child brought his friend into the classroom. That was the whole problem. Teacher puts the question on the board, tells you what it is, you understand it, you accept it, you move on. This is human, civilized, educational ways. But for anyone who is suffering and wants to know the truth, we have to remove the question by primarily removing the questioner. The questioner is mind. The questioner is born from thought. The answer, in a human way, is discoverable. Every answer, every question can be discovered in a human way. But the true question, who am I? Not many will discover the truth about that. That, you see. When the teacher puts a question up on the board, who is that? The whole class goes still, silent. The mind shuts down. No one answers the question. Someone pipes up after that split moment, awakening second, and says, who is that what? I don't know what that is. What does it look like? Where is it? What's the description? Who is that? That what? Where? Are you pointing at something, teacher? Where? Where can you lead us? Where can you take us? And the teacher puts a picture on the board of a celebrity. And all the class say, yeah, we know who that is. That has now appeared as an identity, as a person, as a name, as an identity, as a word. We're all word-based. All values of God, in whatever way you look at it. So if the story irritates you, I'm so glad. If the story awakens your pure self, I'm so glad. If the story makes you laugh and say, I remember my childhood, if it takes you to your past, I'm so glad. If it takes you to the delete button and the unsubscribe, I'm so glad. It's okay. Everything is as it is, you see? Who is? That's the real question. What is? Who is that? What is that? Who am I? Who is who? You see? Not the young child's friend who. Who is the real who? Who is the true who? How come the owl is called the wisest? Why? Listen to it. Who, who.